And the GM guidebooks continue. This one, as you can see, is the Astonishing Random Tables. Now, this one might be the most invaluable book that you can get as a DM or a GM because this pretty much lets you world build. This pretty much is like nothing but world building. So, as you can see in the in the table of contents, the first basic chapter is all, like I said, world building. Then it also gives you like a section on session building, which like basically lets you go from basically session to session, which can build into this for your whole campaign. And then the rest is like the magic and miscellanea, which basically the nitty gritty details of stuff. So anywhere from potions, scrolls, NPCs, and it gives you a whole like litany of other stuff that you can use as well. And of course, like at the end, it also does give you like a few one-shot adventures. So this book, like I said, is pretty much like invaluable, in that it basically lets you in it, like as the first section says, it lets you world build. It gives you all you need to, instead of trying to have to figure out coming up with scratch everything from scratch. It gives you everything you need to do to build the world. So it starts off here with basically building a pantheon. So you could in a sense like I said, do stuff from scratch and build off inspiration from the Nordic mythology, Greek mythology, Roman mythology, or any type of mythology that you can find here in our world. Or what this does is it actually just pretty much like every other book, it gives you tables and stuff, so you can sit there, roll, pick and choose. So it gives you the ideas that you need to be able to create your own pantheon. So it also lets you define magic, and of course, the two major ones are arcane and divine. So that it breaks down into this and lets you in a sense further expand upon these, and lets you in a sense govern how those two types of magic work in your world. So it gives tables for pretty much everything. So and it also gets into the actual building a planet. So basically lets you build your world. So for instance, you can see here, you can roll for how many continents there actually are, and then unless you're rolling for environments, it basically gives you all the types of tables that you need to sit there and pretty much get the whole terrain of the world. So it breaks it down to like you can see forest, jungles, mountains, desert. It gives you tables for each type of terrain or locale that you can use to pretty much govern each section of your world. So Arctic, grassland, hills. It pretty much is in depth on building the terrain of your world. So you could start off with just a small portion of your world and then run a campaign and build upon your campaign, and then build it out as you go. So also it gives you the you can see here, building a realm. So you might start in a kingdom, and it gives you all the tables and data that you need to actually build a single kingdom type of deal. So it gives you gets into the forms of government that you can do, authoritarian and monarch. It gives you all the different types of governments that you can do. So you can even roll for the type of leaders that are in there, and it gives you in a sense, like I said, all these tables that let you kind of roll, or you can sit here and look at the tables okay, and get ideas I might number 4 here, and I might not necessarily want to do number 1. So you can, like I've said in previous videos, pick and choose which ones to use, or you can just do the typical rolling. So it's pretty much all up to you. So it also lets you down get into the nitty gritty details of cities and towns and stuff. So this is pretty much why I say this one is probably going to be invaluable, because for DMs, mainly for those ones who want to in a sense do their own world building, because you can get the pre made ones like Forgotten Realms, Eberron, Greyhawk, and a lot of this this legwork would already be done for you. But this book is pretty much geared towards being able to do that yourself, so you can, in a sense, build your own world. So you don't have to use those pre-made worlds, and like you can, like, in a sense, kind of tailor everything into your unique situation and make your own unique world type of deal. So it gets into like also gives you ideas for how to run the economy. So it gives like in a sense like you find tables galore. So this is why it's called random tables and everything. So like it gives you pretty much tables upon tables upon tables to be able to like get into the actual nitty gritty details of the world that you're building. So like, and of course it gives even more ideas for the goods and services that you can do with the economy. So like this first section is probably as you can see in the table of contents, is the biggest part of it, because like when you're creating your own world, you're pretty much having like a lot of the your work cut out for you, because you don't have like unlike your pre-made ones like Forgotten Realms that have like pretty much all your legwork already done for you, because people have already pretty much in a sense done all of this. They've got their like governments, their like terrain all set up. They got the towns and economy all built out for you. So all you kind of have to do is like plop the group down in. Whereas this lets you do all that legwork for you. So you, if you are say tired of running like a pre-made campaign settings, you can like, in a sense use this book to be able to create your own with a much better detail and much more in depth, and it makes the world building itself a lot easier. So you're not just sitting there having to trying to like come up with things on the fly. It gives you like the random, like the whole book, random tables to sit here and give you the whole litany of ideas, the background, and of course like the tables like you can see here like the whole idea of like for different like characters and the different type of like encounters. So like basically like 100 different ideas for like a description of like of a type of place that you're going to encounter, like going to like the regulars, maybe like hooks, complications, and like so yeah, basically this run right here gives you basically like 100 different ideas to be able to do that. So in a sense, like 100 different ideas, you could basically run like 100 different sessions and basically never run the same adventure twice and everything. So with this being pretty much like a tables galore, giving you all that, like keep reiterating, giving you all this background information that you can in a sense be able to a lot easier build your own world and everything. So like, and even like as you can see, guilds and unions. So like maybe you're running like you want to build a city based off something like a Waterdeep or the actual city of Greyhawk itself. You could use stuff like this to kind of like get ideas like, okay, well I want to tailor it to something like that. You can use tables like this to be able to in a sense get more background. So like you have a fully fleshed out like a metropolitan area where you can like just plop your group in, and then like start in a sense your world building from there, and then like I said, build out from there. And so this is where this book is going to really shine, is like with all these tables and everything, gives you like a whole slew of information and ideas on like how to like build the whole world and how to build each little like detail of it, and it gives you so much like of the nitty gritty ideas that you can use to pretty much get from anything down to like the Thieves Guild, to like the government, the way the local economy is structured, everything. So this is what this book is all geared towards, especially this first section. Of course, like you also have like types of random encounters that you could do between like the different locales and everything. So, and like it also gives you the ideas of like exciting names that you can use for different characters, different locales. So like in a sense, like it also gives you like ideas for like conflicts that you could find in like major and minor cities and stuff like that. So like it gives you a whole idea for like the maybe the backdrop of like maybe like you're like you said you're building a city based off Waterdeep. You can like get the background information. Maybe they might be at like in a trade war that might be leading to a military war with a city that's maybe like 50 60 miles down like the coast on like in a sense like using Waterdeep as example. They might be at a trade war with Baldur's Gate or something, so like you could in a sense get ideas like that and to do your own world. So this section is a little bit smaller, but it gives because it gives you like ideas for each individual session. So like for instance, after you go through that first section, you get like all the details done with the your world that you can then jump into this and like, okay, well now I got that all set. I want to kind of use these tables to like flesh out like sessions that I can run my characters through and to help further even build out the world itself and everything. So like and it's based on actual like terrain locales. So like you can you don't necessarily have to like oh well, I'm running like a forest. Like how do I run like counters? What kind of like you don't have to sit there and look through like other books. You can just sit here and look through this. It gives you ideas on like what kind of creatures that you could throw against your characters. And of course, with these creatures, you could in a sense like for instance, a treant or a druid, like you could use them as like an antagonist against them, or they could be like the one that like gets the party involved, and maybe they go up against like this one, a green hag. That the ideas are endless that you could use these tables for. So and like what's great is that it basically like breaks it down to the locale, so like you don't have to sit there and like I said, flip through like okay, well I'm running this kind of campaign, like and like they might be going through like this terrain, so that it has these tables right in here, so it lets you kind of just like okay, makes it easier to like reference each type of like a terrain, so it is going to make it your job as a GM or DM a lot easier to like build up and random encounters or like get ideas for like the not only for each individual session but the whole campaign in the whole series of sessions and everything. So in a sense like it makes your job as a GM a lot easier, and it can save a lot of time with these tables and everything. So this is why like I've said that this book is probably like a very invaluable. Is probably one of like probably the most invaluable of these GM guidebooks, at least in my opinion. So that way it, like I said, it saves you a ton of time and you try and figure out what to run for a campaign or anything, because like everything is nice neat tables and everything, so you can just sit here and roll or pick and choose or do a combination of both or whatever. So like and also it gives you like helps for like skill challenges for like okay, maybe you need to do like a saving throw, like a skill check, like you can see here on the table, dexterity skill challenges, like maybe like the rogue is trying to like make a sneak attack and like they're trying to stealth their way around to flank the goblins that you're fighting or something. So like you can do, gives you tables and ideas for like stuff like that, so it makes it even easier to do stuff like that. So like and then of course like that's all part of this session building part. And of course like also you can hazards, so like the good old famous traps that you find in dungeons and everything. So like it gives you ideas for like hazards that are like traps and stuff that you'd find outside of dungeons that like in the locales like you're going through. So like for instance like a jungle environment, like you might not necessarily find like a trapped treasure chest in like a jungle, but you'd have like different types of like in a sense traps or dangers that you come across in the jungle setting that's outside the actual dungeon. So this helps gives the DM litany of ideas for like hazards, so that you don't necessarily have to do like the standard traps and everything. Like, oh, you were just hit with a poison dart, but and you failed the pick and the lock of the treasure chest type of deals. So it gives you like more ideas on like instead of just your standard typical like traps and hazards and stuff that you'd find in like in your typical dungeon. And of course, like it also gives like ideas for monsters and stuff like in here for like for that table. So like this is pretty much like the session build. Now magic and miscellanea, this gets into like as you can see here, it starts with the basic magic like scrolls, and of course like how like you can create scrolls, and I'll keep saying pick and choose or roll, like which ones you can like find, or like because sometimes you might roll and might not necessarily be a spell that may be useful for like your party members that you come across. So like picking and choosing might be better, or like if you just want something random, you can roll, or do like keep reiterating, you can pick and choose, do either or. So like and of course, and then it gets all into like a potion. So some you don't necessarily have to have like all like a beneficial potions, like the famous and stereotypical potion of healing type of deal. You could have like poisons and stuff that like could maybe knock characters like abilities down. So like maybe they have like a negative effect on their dexterity or their strength or something. So it doesn't necessarily have to be just positive. These potions you can come across or can be like it shows here poisons. So it can be like both beneficial and detrimental, like the different types of potions that you can come across. So then like with this magic miscellanea, it kind of in a sense gets more into like the nitty-gritty details of like in a sense the treasure that you're going to find along the way. So like of course you can also have like a teleportation mishap. So like you might have a teleportation mirror that you use, and like you're trying to get from city A to city B, but then instead it like the mishap sends you to city C type of deal. So which could in a sense lead down to like a whole nother like adventure. So you could get back into like the session section of this and actually create even more in a sense like adventures and everything. And of course like it gives like a good illustrations of like stuff that mutations and stuff that could happen like with the teleportation gone wrong type of deal. So like and also gets into like you could get into the idea of wild magic, and like using as like as a variant, and of course tables that you can pick and choose, roll either or both, to kind of get like ideas for maybe like maybe you have like a wild spot where like magic kind of like works funky, or like works reverse, or like a fireball might turn into like an ice ball when you cast it or something. So like it gives you kind of like even more ideas for that, and like also like ideas for maybe like a pickpocketing result gone wrong. And of course I guess in a sense it could be kind of class specific, and of course gifts, curses, and the could end up like the cursed ring, which is one of the stereotypical ones. Of course you can get also a gift. I mean you get like a magical sword as a gift, like your stereotypical gifts and curses and stuff. So like, and of course it gives you whole tables on like to give you like a ton of different ideas, and also like gets into like charms. And so this book is like I said, very invaluable. I'll reiterate again, because it gives you a ton of ideas with all these random tables and everything. So, and of course common magic items, and of course the tables keep getting gives you like as you can see like 100 different ideas for like common magic items. And like also like maybe you could have like people have like weird dreams that sends them on to like another type of adventure and everything, because they want to maybe try and follow their dreams type of deal. So like it gives you a whole you know the whole details that you can get into creating your world with this book are pretty much like limitless and endless. So like and this is why it's called the Book of Random Tables, because like you have all these tables that like I've said and I'll reiterate again, it makes your job world building so much easier, and it saves you a whole ton of time, because you can just reference in all these tables instead of trying to come up with things yourself and everything. So like it opens up the possibilities of like maybe not even building the same world twice and everything. So like and of course, like if you ever wanted to run like a pirate themed campaign, you got the famous ships and shipwrecks and everything. So like the famous line, "Release the Kraken," from the Clash of the Titans. So like you gotta use reference media too. So and so this is like gives you like a background on stuff like adventure ideas for stuff like that, and like and so it pretty much then with this last section, it gives you like three adventures like that you can do. So like you can see like for this one is like level 3 to 7. So it gives you like pretty much like a few one-shot adventures like that you could use like in conjunction with this book, or not like or you could also use as separate. So like the second one, levels 2 to 6, you can see. So that pretty much ends. And this book ends with a few like ideas that you can kind of plop into your campaign after you do like all the world building with this and everything. So like or you can just use them as like different adventures. And of course the last one is like a higher level camp one shot, 8 to 12. So that pretty much ends this book with the 3 one-shot adventures that you can use. And of course it also has the usual table index that you can reference stuff. So like this is like probably like if you were to probably as a DM get only one, this would probably be the greatest one, especially mainly if you're world building, because it like I've said countless times in this video, this makes your job world building so much easier. It saves you so much time, and like it could become an invaluable tool if you like I've said before earlier in this video, if you're sick and tired of running through your pre-made campaign settings like Forgotten Realms or Greyhawk or Dragonlance, definitely pick this up, because it will make your job as a DM world building your own unique campaign setting a whole lot easier.